Today training is about Confined Space Rescue Action Plan. So today we're going to discuss about this topic, which is a very important topic, especially for those people who's working in confined space and the people who's managing the health and safety in organization. So we'll discuss about these things. So let's start. Introduction. Rescue in confined space are often challenging, most hazardous among all rescue activities. 6 out of 10 killed are untrained. Safety of rescuers most important. Rescue means, what is the means of rescue? We'll understand about the meaning of rescue first. Rescue means removing victims from a hazardous or life-threatening situation to areas of safety or treatment. Function: locating and freeing victims and conveying them to a place of safety, administering first aid as necessary. Function: restoring the accident area to a safe condition. So rescue means removing some of the person or any person who's working in any hazardous area. So we have to remove that person from that particular area to a safe place where the people or any person, they will be safe for any hazard. So that's called rescue. Second thing, when we look at the function, then what we have to do, we have locating and freeing victims and conveying them to a place of safety. So what we have to do, we have to remove them from an area where the hazards is present. And the area which is hazardous now due to some work activities or some other things, we have to make sure that that workplace is again, we have to restore as in a safe place. So that is the rescue. After that, why so many rescuers killed? Why so many rescue people they are killing? And overcome by their emotions, take unnecessary chances, do not know the hazards involved, do not have a plan of action, how to do the rescue, lack of confined space rescue training, etc. So these are the main challenges which is killing the rescuers at the time of rescue. Now the hazard of confined space. These may occur single or combination of hazardous atmosphere, fall risk, people they may fall, mechanical hazards, flooding, toxic material, etc. Hazardous atmosphere, if the atmosphere is hazardous, so the people they can be killed as well. Now, what is a hazardous atmosphere? Hydrogen sulfide may be there in a confined space, carbon monoxide may be there, explosive atmosphere may be there, low oxygen, because the confined space there is only one exit and entrance, so that's why there is a low oxygen. Other hazardous material, liquid or gas may be there. Okay, so these are the reason making a hazardous atmosphere in a confined space. Now, rescue from hazardous atmosphere. How we can rescue the people from an hazardous atmosphere? First of all, hazardous atmosphere grouped into 3 types. Atmospheres containing flammable vapors or gases in amounts that are combustible or explosive. How an atmosphere will get the flammable vapors or gases in amounts? First of all, we have to check that where you are going to the rescue. If you are going to the rescue in any drain, any where the sludge or any drain water is accumulated, so the methane and other gases, other flammable gases, they can be accumulated due to the decomposing. After that, during the work, if you will use some of the some of the gas which is explosive, that can also make a atmosphere an explosive atmosphere. After that, atmosphere containing toxic or corrosive vapors that may poison or injure the rescue workers. Then atmospheres in which the oxygen content has been diluted or depleted until the atmosphere has too little oxygen to support life. How the oxygen is getting low inside any confined space? First of all, if there is any decomposing is happening or ionization is happening, during the ionization also, what will happen? The ion that will take the oxygen from the atmosphere and the ionization will happen. After that, if there is any bacteria, they are growing inside any confined space, they will take the also oxygen from the environment. If you are doing any welding work inside the any confined space, that will also replace the oxygen. if we are using CO2 inside the confined space, so CO2 also, carbon dioxide also, that will replace the oxygen also, okay, inside a confined space. So after that, the second risk is present is fall risk. How the people they can fall? They can fall on the same level, okay, inside a confined space due to floor is slippery. They can fall from the ladders if the ladder is not placed properly. They are using the ladder inside a confined space. Rusty, unstable walkways, mechanical failure of mechanical failure of safety equipment or tools, scaffold, ladder failures, etc. So these are the things can cause fall risk inside a confined space. Third thing, confined space hazards is a mechanical hazards, moving belts or other machinery. If you are working in a confined space where you have to work and you are in very close contact with the moving belts and the other machinery parts, you have the hazard of electricity, high pressure pipe, hose, burst, sharp edges, etc. These are the hazards include with the mechanical thing. Flooding or engulfment potential. Storm sewers, if you are working in the sewer line, sewer confined space, in that one also sudden water or sudden flood can come that can also cause the people, they can die. After that, hoopers, grain bins, and mud sludge, etc. These are the things also causing the death. And the toxic material, if any confined space that is containing any toxic material like mercury, plumber, other toxic hazardous material, liquid or solid, etc. Those things can also cause death. Now, the parts of a rescue operation: extricate victim from physical restraint, get the victim out of immediate danger, determine the nature and extent of injury, stabilize the victim and administer medical assistance, transport victim to medical facility. They have to stabilize the emergency scene, wrap up, returning emergency personnel, vehicles, and equipment to service as part of wrap up. Post accident critic, this is the part of emergency operation that is too frequently overlooked. So these are the parts we have to follow during the evacuation, rescue, during the rescue in a confined space that we have to follow. Now, the type of rescue methods, there are three types of rescue. First is self-rescue, second non-entry rescue, third is the entry rescue. We'll discuss about these things. What is a self-rescue? Self-rescue entrants are still able to escape from the space as quickly as possible. In a self-rescue, you don't have to get the help from the other people. You don't have to enter any confined space. In a self-rescue, the person who is in danger, they will be evacuate the area by themselves. They will come out from that area by themselves. Concise and alert, able to recognize his own signs, symptoms, physically able to evacuate more rapidly, not endangering anyone else, able to alert, follow fellow workers. So these are the steps a self-rescuer they can take. After that, non-entry rescue. Usually assist by whole watch from outside with equipment and other rescue aids are employed to assist in removing endangered entrants. Entrant, unconcise or unable to move, entrant gives signal, alert, call for help. Already prepared emergency planning. Now, what is a non-entry rescue? Suppose you have any hole. In that hole, only one person can go in and he can do that work. In those positions, when you have to give the rescue, you can't go inside that hole. Why? Because already one person is there. So that's why you can't go inside. So what you have to do, you have to use any rope or any rescue methods, like you can use a tripod. So those are the things you have to take while you have to remove any person who is in danger from that hole. So you have to use that thing. How the people they can give you signal if they're in danger. What you can do, you can tie a rope. So whenever they can tug on that rope, so the signal can be used. They can use any walkie-talkie. They can use any cell phone. They can use other method of communication. Now the entry rescue needs rescuers entering the space to retrieve the entrant and provide the victim with emergency assistance. In the entry rescue, people they have to enter inside the confined space and then they have to start the rescue plan. Usually rescue tools not available, abnormal condition or size, panic, etc. Serious accidents may happen. Rescue equipment for confined space. What are the rescue equipments we should use? We should use the full body harness with retrieval line attached, hand cranked mechanical winch and tripod, ladder rope 5 into 8 and one lighting, self-containing breathing apparatus, personal protective equipment, stretcher, resuscitator, inhalator, first aid equipment, etc. So these are the things we have to use whenever we are preparing any rescue plan. These are the equipment we have to use. And we have to use the firefighting equipment also. These are the things. If there is any fire, we have to deal with the fire inside a confined space. We have to use the firefighting equipment as well. But when we are using any firefighting equipment, you have to take the concern about the oxygen if you are using any CO2. Okay. Now the Stokes basket. The Stokes basket is a basket stretcher that conforms to the slab's shape of the body. This stretcher provides excellent support for the injured victim and secures the victim in the basket with pre-attached straps. The Stokes is traditionally a metal rod frame with a wire mesh covering, but some of the newer models are molded plastic. So stock basket, why we use the stock basket? If any person he can't move by themselves, to remove the person from any confined space, we are using the stock basket. So this is very helpful in confined space. Now the rope and rescue knots. Rope is one of the most versatile rescue tools. Rope or lines for rescue operations fall into two general categories. First, rescue lines, which include lifelines for sliding or rappelling, as well as rescue lines or hoisting or lowering that support human life. Second thing, utility lines that can be used to transfer small tools or different levels or other light duty in which knots must be tied easily. So if you have to move some of the tools inside a confined space by the use of rope, you can use these things. Rescue notes types. How many types of rescue notes will be there? The ball line on a bite, the square knots, the three loop ball line, sheep shank, chimney hitch, clove hitch, and ball line, etc. Safety equipment. Other safety equipment that we have to use during the rescue. Atmospheric monitor able to detect carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, etc., low oxygen levels, and flammable explosive atmosphere. These are the things we have to use first of all whenever you are starting any work inside a confined space. That time you can use. And the second time, if any emergency rescue team they are entering inside a confined space, they should do this thing also. Then blower, tripod, blower to remove any dust and other thing. Tripod able to safely support two people, means to anchor leg, main rated fall protection available. Tripod is very important thing if you are removing any person from any hole, any sewer, so that can be used. Lockout tagout systems also very helpful. Now factors and consideration action sequence. The amount of danger to the victim and rescuers. Alternative methods of rescue available. The personnel available for rescue operations. The equipment available for rescue operations. Amount of time available, the knowledge and experience of the rescuers. These are the factors are very important whenever you are planning any rescue. Okay, so these are the points you have to concern. Space characteristics consideration. Internal configuration, open or obstructed, that you have to check. Confined space is open one or the obstructed one. Elevation, elevated or non-elevated. Portal size, restricted or unrestricted. Space access, horizontal or vertical, that you have to check. Rescue action plan, preparation and response. Check and maintain equipment. First of all, you have to make sure that you are checking your equipment regularly and maintaining them properly also. Continuous training is very, very important to your emergency rescue team. Begin size up at time of call. Consider effects of weather whenever you are doing any rescue plan. Respond with sufficient resources. Arrival and setup. Begin physical size up. Keep apparatus and exhaust away from opening. Give arrival report and establish command. After then, size up hazards identification. Split into teams, safety and entry. Gather facts. before you enter inside a confined space. Talk to attendant and witness before you entering any confined space. Check material safety data sheets. If they are using any chemicals, you have to check the MSDS also. But I would suggest that thing, if you are using any chemical, use the cost assessment, because MSDS is very lengthy and it will take time to read all these information, particular very important information. So the cost is very important. That is a one-page document where you will get all the important information. Set tactic strategy for rescue action. Rescue action plan. Scene stabilization. Establish safety zone. Set up equipment tool area. Entry tag for entry teams. Stabilize all mechanical processes. Isolate all hazardous materials. Monitor atmosphere. After that, casualty access. Casualty access. When you are, if casualty is accessing, so that you have to, these are the points you have to check. Entry teams prepare to enter. Medical teams prepare to receive casualty. Standby team as safety backup. Use tripod mounted hoist or mechanical advantage system. Keep all lines, blower tubes away from ladder and manhole. Casualty assessment and care. When you are assessing the casualty and you are carrying them, approach with care. If atmosphere is safe, begin with primary assessment. If atmosphere is unsafe, remove casualty immediately from any atmosphere or any environment. Casualty extractions. Paraguard, stroke basket stretcher, spinal immobilization, mechanical advantage system, tripod mounted hoist operation, aerial ladder as anchoring point. Now the stabilized injuries. A victim should be examined for injuries and stabilized before moving. If you are moving any victim from any confined space, before that you have to make sure that you are giving time to stabilize any victim, if at all possible. A victim with a fractured extremely should have the extremity immobilized before being moved. Moving an injured victim without first stabilizing the injuries can lead to further injury or aggravate the condition of the victim. These are the things you have to get. Now, every effort should be made first to determine the injuries of the victim. Before you are moving any victim, you have to check the victim properly. What are the injuries he is getting? Okay. And if it is possible, ask with the victim, what are the injuries he got, how he was walking. If the victim is conscious. If it is not, if it is unconscious, then you have to remove the victim from the confined space as soon as possible. A rescuer many times will have to use personal judgment in moving victims. If it is apparent that a victim is injured, reasonable effort should be made to protect the injured part during movement, regardless of the mode used. And rescue action plan, recovery. Evacuate casualty away from opening, decontaminate casualty and rescuers, retrieve equipment, decontaminate equipment, return to fire station and standby. This is the recovery part. Now, be professional and care. The main thing for the rescuer to remember is to care. You have to take care of the victim. The best combination of the personal traits is compassion and professional expertness. Rescuers can improve the victim's emotional state by providing as much information as possible. Safety precautions. What are the safety precautions you have to take during the rescue? Emergency response. Don't rush in. As I said earlier, before you are getting in, you have to assess the area, assess the situation. You have to check, if it is possible, check the atmosphere also, check the MSDS, cost assessment. Don't panic. Normally, people, what they will do, if there is an emergency, they start to panic and they will take the wrong decision. So that should not be happen. And don't try alone. Don't be a Superman. Don't be a Spider-Man that you can do everything by yourself. Make sure if you are doing any emergency rescue, always go in team. Call backup. Stand by team to help and assist and ventilate, etc. Now, emergency response. Follow correct procedures. You should have the SOP, standard operating procedures, and you should have the rescue plan as well. Stay alert and get ready to get out quickly when you notice any worrying signs. Set up emergency signals, communications with observer and pole watch. Now, pre-incident planning, hazard identification scenario, consequent analysis, list the task the team is performing inside a confined space, manpower requirement, what are the manpower you require, and the manpower you are providing that should be competent as well. List equipment needs inside a confined space, procedure, entry, rescue, medium, evacuation, etc. Training, drill, and review, try out before work start. Rescue plan, a barricade area should be barricaded, additional ventilation option, appropriate lighting equipment should be there. Method of communication, what are the methods you will use to communicate the people who are inside the confined space. Victim removal device, how you will remove a victim from a confined space. Available emergency vehicles, if you need any vehicles to remove a victim from any hazardous atmosphere, what are the vehicles you require. Medically trained personnel and equipment, you should require any team member who is medically trained for the first aid and other certain medical checks. Now, I'm showing you here safeguard for a hazardous atmosphere, for work a hazardous atmosphere. Okay, and this one, now this is a tripod, and there's a person who's working inside a confined space. So wall closed and locked. The person, what he is doing, this this wall, it is closed and blank inserted here. The person is a worker equipped with air monitoring instrument. The person is here is equipped with the air monitoring equipment as well. Lifeline to safety harness. This is the lifeline to safety harness. There is the second one. Okay. This is for the oxygen monitoring. After that, airline with emergency services. This is airline with emergency services. Breathing air secured upright. Alarm horn. This alarm horn is here. Standby worker holding lifeline in communication with worker inside, trained in artificial respiration and able to perform rescue. So the person who is there with the person who's working inside is properly trained and he is a competent person. So these are the things we have to follow if we are performing any work inside a confined space. This is a tripod which we use to remove a person if the person working inside any hole or any sewer tank, anything. So if you are using any tripod, make sure your tripod is tested regularly. It should be tested regularly by the external party as well. Okay. So you should decide the frequency 6 months, yearly, or every 3 months. After that, full body harness, snap hook, and this is a rope. Full body harness and the rope also, these should be tested also as per their safe workload. And this is the way we should remove a person from any confined space if we are removing any hole or from any sewer upright. And there is a basket that we have to use if we are removing any person. And this is the way we have to remove person from any confined space. This one we are saying the 3 different type of ropes which is used for the inside a confined space, A, B, and C. This is a standing line. A standing line is safe for all 3. There is a free end. There is the free end here, and there is the free end here. Okay, you can see the free end is all different in all 3 one. There is a bowling line on a bite. There is a bright standing line and a standing line, and free end is passed through bright front to back. These are the different rope tied on a line. So these are the way we are using to remove a person from a confined space. Now the rescue problem. What are the problems we can face during the rescue plan? Space, contour, shape. Space is a major problem because normally we know that inside a confined space wherever we are working, space is not much that we can perform our work properly. Second thing, the manhole size. Size is not proper. Height and deep. It is very, height is too much and it is very deep also. And the visibility, you can't see the things properly. Equipment layout. Equipment layout is very, like, it's not easy. Panic, time availability. Only 4 minutes time is available. So during within 4 minutes, we have to remove the person from the confined space. The people, they panic also. Lack of coordination, command. Confined space rescue training, use of atmospheric monitoring equipment, use and maintenance of personal protective equipment, self-containing breathing apparatus, use and maintenance of rescue equipment, proficiency in first aid and CPR, practice, practice, and practice. The people who is in the emergency rescue team, they should be properly trained in each and everything. The equipment they have to use, how they have to rescue the team, how they have to enter the confined space, how they have to give the first aid and CPR, all of these things, they should be trained properly. And they should be trained frequently, not once in a lifetime or once in a year. They should be practiced every time. Now, do not enter the confined space without safety harness, lifeline, breathing apparatus, and observer standby. These are the main thing you have to concern whenever you are entering any confined space. Now, the reference. Reference you can use if you need any more information for the confined space. You can use the reference to the Fire Service Rescue Practices, Emergency Rescue Squad Manual, Trade and Industrial Education Services, Rescue Training Model, Fire Services College, etc. So, thank you so much for your time. So, that's all from my side regarding rescue plan, emergency rescue that we have to perform. And these are the main things we have to follow during the rescue. I hope you liked my video and the information which I have provided now. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel and like my videos, and please share with your colleagues and friends. And please keep support me. Thank you so much. See you next video.